Hello and welcome. This is Christina Hills with the Website Creation Workshop, and welcome to this masterclass training on the 5 productivity tips for working faster and smarter online. And my name is Christina Hills. I am a WordPress coach and teacher, and I've been teaching a program called the Website Creation Workshop, and I'll talk about that a little bit at the end. But here's what we're going to do today. I've got a training that I'm going to go through. I'm going to do some live demonstrations, right? I'll switch from PowerPoint to the browser. Then I'll be taking your questions at the end, and then also at the end you'll get the link for this PDF tips download sheet. All right, so let's go ahead and jump in with productivity tip number 1 is to use multiple browsers when you work. All right, so what is a browser? A browser is how you connect to the internet. When you open up your laptop or your desktop, you use a browser to get around, and not everybody actually knows that. Both Macs and PCs, they both use browsers. So what do you use? Do you use a Mac or a PC? You can go ahead and write that in the chat. And it doesn't really matter, right? The internet is now independent, and I see we got a lot of Mac people, we got a lot of PC people here, so it's a little bit of a mix of both. All right, so devices, right? Mac or PC, doesn't matter. They use browsers to connect to the internet. And so you might have a laptop or a desktop or a tablet or a smartphone, iPhone, or a Droid. But when you get on the internet, which browser should you use? And here's a few. There are more. Firefox, Chrome, Safari, Edge, right? This used to be Microsoft Explorer. Now they call it Edge. And here is my site in different browsers, right? So I'm going to be talking about different browsers. And this might seem kind of simple and fundamental, but I find in my trainings a lot of people are not adept at switching between browsers. So that's what I'm going to be talking about. So here's my site in Chrome. Here's my site in Safari. Here's my site in Firefox. And also here's my site in Microsoft Edge. All right, so what browser do you use? And I don't think I have this, so you can just type in the chat. What browser do you use? Do you use, let me go back here. Do you use Firefox mostly? Do you use Safari? Most of the Mac people are probably using either Safari or Chrome. So I'm just kind of curious. All right. Let me get back here. Which browser do you use? All right, so why should you use multiple browsers? Well, some websites can look different in various browsers. And some websites work better in a certain browser than another. So if I like Firefox, it's just out of habit. But if things aren't working in Firefox, I switch to Chrome. And when you have multiple browsers, you can have an admin view and a visitor view of your website. So you get to see at the same time what's going on. So what am I talking about? So here's a visitor view of a website with a coming soon. So some people want to build their site, but they don't want the world to see it. And so you put up a coming soon. But if you log in as the administrator, right, then you can see your site. So you'll use a second browser to log in. So this is the same site, but 2 different browsers, right? And I'll be demonstrating this. So this is what someone would see not logged in, and this is what someone would see logged in. and this is my buildyourpassion.com site that I am developing. Here's another look of a visitor view and then the admin view in another browser. So I've been on this quest for the divine for many years, and I don't want people to see it yet until I finish building it or get it to the point where I'm ready for it to be viewed. And so you can see up here it shows a little coming soon, so I know when I'm logged in that other people won't be able to see it. So same site, two different browsers, and I'm going to show what I mean by logged in when I'm going to demo this in a moment. So I like to teach with pictures and then demo on the internet. And then here's another site, myfavoriteplugins.com, and I just keep that around in case somebody wants to see, hey, what does a coming soon site look like? If you don't have a second browser, you want to go ahead and download it for free. So you pick, and there's others too. There's Avast and there's Opera. I just picked the most popular ones. So Firefox, Chrome, Safari, Edge. I used to use Microsoft Explorer and it did not work well with WordPress, so I switched to Firefox, and now I use these two, and occasionally I use Safari. Okay, so you can download these for free. Google.com/Chrome. This is what it looks like to download Chrome. To download Firefox, just type in getfirefox.com. To download Safari, support.apple.com. Downloads, that's a clunky name, but you can always just Google it. Or Edge, right? Here's the link to download the Edge computer if you want to. I pretty much never use it. And if you forget the links, just Google it. Right? So how to download Chrome, and you'll get an answer. How to download Firefox, or how to download, and if you Google it, you know you'll get the correct link. Okay. Brave was not on my list because I just don't use it that often and it's not that popular. But if you use Sandy, the Brave, and Lauren, if you love Brave, go for it. Okay. Another method is to use a private window, and it's sometimes called incognito. I think that's what Chrome calls it. So have you ever heard of this private window? So if you don't want to have a second browser, which I recommend by the way, but if you don't want to have a second browser, use a private browser. So let me show you how to get that. On Firefox, you'll see these little lines, and when you click on it, you can click on New Private Window, and when you do that, it pops up a browser like this. And it's private, it doesn't remember your cookies or your search history, or it makes you totally anonymous. And I've had people say to me that they buy airline tickets this way because they think the airlines change the pricing if they know where you are. And I don't know if that's true or not, but someone had said you should buy your airline tickets in a private window. Okay, Chrome, same thing except there's little dots and they call it New Incognito Window. And when you bring that up, then it's going to look like this, right? So it's so here's Chrome Incognito, and it's not going to save your browsing history or your cookies or your information entered in forms. So I think I'm going to get out of PowerPoint and I'm going to demo multiple browsers. Okay, so can you see my screen? All right, so I'm going to open up a new private window, and this is what it looks like. So let me go to, here's the buildyourpassion.com, which I talked about. And so this is my WordPress site. And you can see it has coming soon mode active. So this is me building my site. I haven't put stuff in here, haven't changed the pictures. But if I want to look at this incognito, I just say new private window, and now this is what it looks like. So what does that mean? That means the outside world that doesn't have a login, right? This is how you log into a WordPress site. They will see this, but then as soon as I log in, I'll actually see my site. All right, and here is my Quest for the Divine site, and if I go into, so let me close this, let me bring up Chrome. Where's Chrome? Here's Chrome. And so this is a test site that I'm building. I haven't picked my domain name yet, so people can't see it. So that is a WordPress plugin. This is something that I teach in the website creation workshop. But the point of this is why have multiple browsers, and that is so you can be in one browser. Let me minimize this. You can be in one browser working on your site, and if you want to just double check, okay, no one can see it because it has this coming soon on. I think what I'm going to do, Joanna, actually, is while I'm on this concept, if there were any little questions I could answer now, and then I'll move on, that are relating to what I covered. There might be other questions, but...
There are other questions. Let's see here.
But let's...
Jan was asking, does that mean you cannot receive emails in incognito?
No, that doesn't mean that. So what incognito means is the browser is not going to remember you. So wherever you go, like if I go to Facebook, for example, right, I'm not logged in, so I'd have to log in. So it doesn't remember anything about me. So it's a good way to view a site if you want to view it fresh as the rest of the world would do. So that's what incognito does. So it doesn't remember your cookies, it doesn't track you, it doesn't remember that you're logged in. Whereas if I go to facebook.com, just as an example, I'm already logged into Facebook. I don't have to log in again. It's remembering me.
Okay. So Lodi says, would you use this to test changes you're making in your site?
Exactly. Yes. So if you want to test changes, so let me go. So here's my site, and I'm logged in as an administrator, and I might want to, well, this is under construction. So let's go to Christina's recipes.com. So here's Christina's recipes.com. And if I want to, and let's say I made some changes to it, but I wanted to view it not as the administrator, see, the administrator sees this black bar, but if I wanted to see it how the rest of the world would see it, I would either use a second browser or I would use the incognito. So
okay. And Ian was asking, is a VPN the same as incognito?
VPN, I'm not going over VPN, so that has...
It's something different.
It's something different, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so
You
we're
know,
just
something different.
sticking with browsers.
Yes. Okay.
So I showed you. Now I could also show Microsoft Edge.
Now, Leo was asking, is there a reason you wouldn't just use a separate tab in the same browser?
Ah, that is a great question. So let me bring that up. And I'm going to be talking about tabbed browsing. So when I'm in my browser and I open up a new tab, and I will be talking about tab browsing. If I open up a new tab in the same browser, it remembers me and all my settings. So it's not going to show how the world would see. It's just going to show me. It's just going to be the same thing.
Okay.
Whereas if you've got incognito, here, let me do it again. So 3 little dots, new private window. So this is with Firefox. Now it's going to show how other people would see it. See, it won't put it in the tab. All right, so what's the point of what I'm trying to teach you? I think it's better to have 2 different browsers, right? So this is Firefox, this is Chrome. So I think it's better to have 2 different browsers, but maybe you don't want to bother with downloading right now. You can accomplish the same thing by using a private browsing. All right, let me move along, and we can get some of these questions will be answered probably throughout, and then we'll take more questions at the end. All right, hold on. Okay, productivity number 2 is tabbed browsing. So that's a nice segue from productivity tip number 1. Productivity tip number 2 is to use tabbed browsing. So here's the problem with multiple windows, and you kind of saw that in my last demo. With multiple windows, you've got to keep like moving things around and finding them and hiding them, etc. Tabbed browsing keeps it all in these little tabs that kind of look like file folders, and then you can switch between them. So lets you lets you easily be working doing multiple things. So sometimes you're in one tab and then you're maybe waiting for something or thinking about something, and then you're checking something else. So tabbed browsing definitely enhances productivity as long as you don't have a bazillion tabs. Like I'll go into my husband's office and he has 50 tabs. Like that's way too many. I'll maybe have 10 or something like that. And I teach this in the website creation workshop. When you're building a website, you can be in the admin panel in one tab and then see the outside of your site in another tab. All right, so here are some tabbed browsing shortcuts, and these shortcuts will be in that PDF cheat sheet that I'll give you at the end. So Control T is to open a new tab. With a Mac, it's Apple Command T, right? Switch between tabs, Control Tab, and then to close a tab, Control W or Apple Command W. And that's what this looks like on your keyboard if you have a Mac. All right, so tabbed browsing then gets even better because you can pin your tabs for faster efficiency. So what does that mean? So that means you want to right click on a tab to pin it to the left edge of your browser. So you'll see this little pin thing, and you can pin a tab. And the way it works is once you pin it, it sticks it over at the end in these tiny little pinned tabs, and then here are my regular tabs. And so I'm going to demo tabbed browsing and pinned tabs. All right, so let me get out of PowerPoint and come over here. So here's my website creationworkshop.com site. Here's the Build Your Passion, which I'm building, my recipe website, and then so I've got 4 tabs up. I'll close this. I can click the X to close that. Now, to create a new tab, I can click this plus key, or I can do Control T. It's whatever you're more comfortable with. Some people do Control T. See, and I open up a whole bunch of tabs. To close a tab, I do Control W, and that will close it. So you can either plus to open it and X to close it, or Control T, whatever you're more comfortable with. With Firefox, you can say New Tab. Let's bring up Chrome. Here's Chrome. Same thing, the little plus will open up a new tab, or Control T. If you're on a Mac, Apple Command T, and then you can exit or Control W to close the tab. Now, part of why, and I'm kind of old school, part of why I like Firefox better than Chrome is I like seeing File, Edit, View, History. But I like that at the top, but it is more efficient. Chrome doesn't have that. Okay, let me show you pinned tabs. So let's go to, I'll go to Facebook. Now, I'm not saying you should stay in Facebook all day long at all, but if I want to pin this, I can right-click and go Pinned Tab, and it pops it over here with this little icon. And let's say I wanted to go to, if I wanted Google up, you know, I could right-click and pin the tab. So it makes it tinier. So if you've got a lot of tabs, but you want these, you know, pinned at the end because you're going to come back to it, see, there's no little X to close it. And if I wanted to, you know, pin my recipe website, now what it's showing are these little icons. That's actually called your site identity. And I teach that in the website creation workshop, how to create one of those. So that's pin tabbing, and if you want to unpin it, you can right click and unpin the tab if you decide, okay, I don't want it pinned. So that's pinned tabbing. If you're going to have a lot and you want them all up here so you can see everything, that's what you would do. All right. Are you all, before I go to the next tip, are you already using tabbed browsing? Are you already using tabbed browsing? All right, let me move on to the next one. Okay, so a bunch of you are already. Some are saying yes, they do tabbed, but not do pins. I don't always pin my tabs. In fact, I think I'll unpin this. Unpin. Okay, because it's easier to read it. All right, let me go bring back up PowerPoint, and we'll go to productivity tip number 3. Now again, a lot of these might feel simplistic, but some people are like, wow, I've never done that before and I didn't know that I could do that. So I want to make you or help you to be more efficient working online. All right, productivity tip number 3 is bookmark popular sites. So what does that mean? Bookmarking, just like in a regular old book, when you bookmark your sites, you can surf faster. And this is something that I do all the time, and I don't know how anyone could work without bookmarks. So let me explain that. So bookmarks are also called favorites or shortcuts. It's a way to save your favorite frequently used website in your browser for easy access. It can be shown in the bookmarks toolbar or the bookmarks menu section. I'm going to demo that, allowing you to visit a site with a click instead of having to type in the URL. So the way it works is if there's a site you go to all the time, and so you can see on my screen, here's a screenshot of Wikipedia, and you drag it down to your toolbars area. So now I'm going to demo bookmarks. Okay, so right now, so I'm in Firefox, and I have my bookmarks hidden because I usually turn them off because it's clutter for when I'm teaching, but I'm going to turn them on. So in these three little like little hamburger stack thing, you go to bookmarks, and I'm going to click on show bookmarks. So these are all my bookmarks, and I have so many bookmarks that when I click here, then it shows all these other bookmarks I have. And the older ones I tend to move down to the bottom. So what are the places that I bookmark a lot? I bookmark my blog, and I'll show you how to do it in a minute. So that gets me to my blog timeline. I have Twitter bookmarked. I have LinkedIn bookmarked. I have, so I can open up a new tab. I have Facebook bookmarked. Google Calendar, Gmail, I have Instagram bookmarked. My website creation workshop. So see, I don't have to type anything in. I can just click, and it will immediately get me into that website. So this is how I work, is I click around. I've got my Zoom also bookmarked, and so you can bookmark anything you want. So for example, so WP Club Sites 5.com. All right, so this is the spiritual site that I am building, and this is my what we refer to as a practice website. So those of you in the website creation workshop, or those of you who are going to be joining me in this month, you'll want to create a bookmark. So how do you do that? Like mine are kind of crowded because there's a lot in here. So you click and you drag down and you put it on your browser bar, the site you want to bookmark. And because I have so many, I edit the bookmark and I change the title. So test. I'll just call that my test site. So you can name this whatever you want, right? So for Facebook, let's say I want to change it. I'll edit this bookmark and I'll call it Facebook. But see, now it stretches it out, and then it's pushed. This is the spillover over here. So that's why I give them short abbreviations. So when I wake up in the morning and I decide, okay, I'm going to work, if I want to go to LinkedIn, I'll click and I'll go to LinkedIn. And because I'm always logged in to LinkedIn and Instagram and Facebook, I don't have to log in each time. So that is bookmarking. So what you do again is all right, I'll go to google.com. Like I don't bookmark Google because it's easy enough to type it in, but I would click and then I can place it wherever I want, so you can organize things. So here, now it's Google, and if I wanted to just edit this bookmark and change it to a G, then that now I have more space. All right, and if I decide, you know what, I don't want this bookmark anymore, I'm going to hover over it and right click and go delete bookmark, and that will delete it. And if I decide, you know, this is really too cluttered, I don't want to see it, I can go to up here on the right hand, bookmarks, hide bookmarks toolbar, and that hides it. So are there security issues being logged into so many sites? Maybe, but I'm at home. I'm not like on a library computer, and it just makes me more efficient, so I just stay logged in. Does that mean Facebook is tracking me? Well, yeah. And Google is tracking me because I'm logged into my Google account? Well, yeah. So there's this balance between being aware of Big Brother and being efficient when you work. So, and if I'm ever, you know, I could use a private window if I wanted to not be tracked so much. But I would rather be more efficient with my work and not worry about being tracked. So that's how I view it, but that's why some people use, I think Avast and Brave, I think are better in terms of tracking. So like Google, how do they make money? They make money because they know what I'm searching for, they know where I'm going, and so they're making money on the back end. But I don't really mind so much because I usually get better ads, right? So because Facebook, again, is also tracking me, they're going to put up better ads. All right, so that was bookmarking. Let me keep going because I don't want to run out of time. DuckDuckGo is also good. DuckDuckGo. I should have put that into my presentation. So if you don't want to be tracked, you can use DuckDuckGo and you can do searches. And I have done searches on Google and searches on DuckDuckGo, and I get different answers, right? So not want to get political here, but DuckDuckGo, if you don't like the answers you get in one browser, try another. Lauren says, I don't see a bookmark section on my Firefox. When you click on the three dots, you might not have anything bookmarked. So that might be why you don't see it. So go somewhere that you go to often, maybe your own website. And so I'll go to the home page of my website. And actually, I'll just drag this down here. And now here's the bookmark for my site. Okay. And I'll close that. Again, you can Control W to close the browser. Okay, I'm going to keep going and then we'll take questions at the end. So let me bring back my PowerPoint and remember to unhide my screen. Okay, so hold on. All right, the next one is browser shortcuts. So a lot of being productive is knowing how to use your browsers well. So browser shortcuts are keystrokes that you memorize to make things in your browser faster, such as searching, copying and pasting, and zooming in and out. And these are the different browser shortcuts. And you're going to get this in the PDF that we're going to give you. So Control F is to find some text on the screen. Control A is to select text. Control C is to copy. Control V is to paste. And Control L is to get to the address bar. And I believe on the Mac it's all the same Apple command. This one I use a lot, zooming in and out of a browser. and to go back to the default size. So I'll show zooming in and out, and then Control T to open a new tab. I showed you that. Control Tab I don't use that often, but it's a faster way to switch between tabs, and then Control W to close the tab. And this is all going to be in the tip sheet, and we have the PC or the Mac version. So let me now demo browser shortcuts. So hold on, bring my browser back up. All right, let me unpause my screen, and I'll go to my site. And so let's say you are looking for something, right? Let's say like I'm on my own site and I want to try to find something on a page. Control F, and it's going to come down here, and I'll show this in Chrome, holiday. Like, okay, yeah, I did do a holiday, and I'm clicking the enter key, and it's showing, okay, holiday is listed twice. So if you're looking for something on a page, Control F will bring up this little dialog box down at the bottom. So if I go bring up Chrome, so let's see, what am I going to search for? If I do Control F, now with Chrome it brings it up at the top, and if I want to search for chicken, now it's showing me there are all the different instances of chicken. So sometimes, depending upon what you're trying to do, if you're trying to find something on a page, Control F or Apple Command F is really, really convenient. Now let's say you also want to zoom in, Control plus will zoom in, and that became very giant. Right, so if you're on a website, and Control minus will shrink you out, and now you can look at it shrunk out. Let me go to my blog. So here's another example. Control plus will zoom in, and Control minus will zoom out. So let's say here's an article I did, Boost Your Business with Google Calendar. Let's say you're on a website and it's just too tiny. So Control plus will make the text really big, and Control minus will zoom you out. And then if you can't remember how far out you went, do Control 0. And that'll get you back. See, it just showed, Chrome just showed it. So Control plus was showing the sizing, Control minus zooms out, and then Control 0. Then Control T for a new tab. Here's another one, Control L, or Apple Command L will get you up to the top tab. So these browser shortcuts work in both Chrome and Firefox. So let's say I'm down here and I don't want to move my cursor up, but Control L. Oh, that's putting me in the search box. Oh, interesting. It works a little bit different. Let me X this out. Control L. Oh, I think I clicked the wrong thing. Yeah, Control L gets me up to the top. So Control F will work on anything. So it's a browser keyboard shortcut that will help you find something. So if you're looking for something on a web page, Control F on Firefox will put it down at the bottom, and it'll show you the matches. So maybe, I'm on the FAQ, and maybe there's a long FAQ, and I'm trying to find something specific on the FAQ. Let me just think of something. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Oh, Control F for free. So, and I hit enter and it'll show me all the instances of the word free. So Control F I use all the time. It's to search on a specific web page. It's not doing a Google search, it's looking for the text. So Control F, Christina, and if I wanted to match the case, I could click on match case. So Control F is really, really a really great keyboard shortcut. Okay, let me keep going. I want to get to the open questions. All right, so next is using a password manager. So to remember your passwords. So passwords are hard to remember, and websites and the internet have made it even harder because they want you to have really cryptic passwords. So you want to have a system, which is a password manager, that will safely store your passwords online and make them available for you when needed very quickly and easily. Don't rely on your browser because it's easy to lose your browser settings when the browser updates. Or if you buy a new computer, now you've got a new computer with a new browser, it doesn't remember all your browser settings. So these are 3 password managers that I would recommend. Bitwarden, they have a free version. 1Password or Dashlane. So I would go to these sites and try them out. And so this is how it works. So here's an example of logging into an airline, right? So I was going to American Airlines and I didn't have to remember my password because I was logged into my password manager. It will just automatically log it in. So if you don't have a password manager, I don't know how you're going to remember all your passwords. It's just way too hard. And these are the ones that I recommend. I used to recommend LastPass. I can't really recommend it anymore, even though I'm still using it, but they've had some issues. So if you're starting fresh, I would pick one of these others. And Google Chrome and Firefox, again, they will remember your passwords, but if you get a new computer or something, it won't work. And I have the version that will then remember my passwords on my iPhone, so it just makes it easy. And then there's also Apple Keychain. Maureen has mentioned that. I will let it do that on my iPhone automatically, but I don't know off the top of my head about Apple Keychain. The thing about a password manager is it will work across devices, whereas Apple Keychain won't. Okay, so those are my 5 productivity tips for working faster and smarter online. And let me just step through what I covered. I talked about using multiple browsers. I talked about using tabbed browsing. I talked about bookmarking your favorite websites. And I would say if you had to only pick one, I would start using bookmarking and memorizing some browser shortcuts, and you'll get this cheat sheet, and use a password manager. Now, I wouldn't be complete if I didn't mention AI. Okay, so I'm going to just mention AI just a little bit here. Use free AI tools to improve your productivity. Now, I don't use AI a lot because I haven't found a strong need to use it. And that's partially because I have a team and a lot of my team are doing things and using AI, but I do use it a little bit. So what I want to say about AI is there's Microsoft's ChatGPT, It's free. They also have a paid version. I'm using the free version, and I'll stay with the free version until I get to the point where I feel like I need the paid version. So ChatGPT is one. I'm just going to mention two. And then Google's Bard, right? Bard.com is Google's answer to AI. The problem with Bard is you'll see this warning here. Your conversations are processed by human reviewers to improve the technology powering Bard. Don't enter anything you wouldn't want reviewed or used. So there's Google again snooping on you, right? And you can use Bard if you have a Google account and if you're logged in. So I've used it a little bit. I haven't used it a lot. I used ChatGPT mostly because it was the first one I learned about. You do have to have a login. You have to log in to use it. There are many, many, many other tools, and you can decide you're going to just not do it at all, but for some things it is really helpful. And AI is still growing, so don't spend a lot of money. So I had a friend tell me I should sign up for a certain AI tool, and it was like $50 a month, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do it. And now things keep changing and changing and changing. So again, don't spend a lot of money. Unless you find a tool you absolutely love, okay, then go for it. But my attitude is don't spend a lot of money. Let's let the dust settle. You'll notice every time you turn, somebody wants you to buy their version of AI. And so, maybe it's helpful, maybe not. I tend, when new technologies come out, I tend to kind of sit on the sidelines a little bit and sort of wait for the dust to settle. The thing about AI is it's not going to go away. It is here to stay, but if you're not currently using it, you don't need to feel bad that you're not currently using it. The way that I have personally found it really helpful is if somebody sends me an email and I have to send a diplomatic response, I will go to ChatGPT and let me back up. I'll go to ChatGPT and I'll type in and I'll say, I got this email from someone. Can you write up a diplomatic response? And then I'll copy and paste it and see what it comes up with. And then I can say, can you make it more personal, or can you make it more humorous, or something like that. So that is how I've found AI to really help me cut down on the time it takes me to write a really nice diplomatic response to somebody. Or maybe it doesn't even have to be diplomatic. Your Aunt Ruth emailed you and told you her long story about how she was in the hospital, and you can ask ChatGPT, can you write me an answer? Just remember, you're editing it, right? You're deciding if you want to use it or not. It's just kind of a nice way to get a first draft. So I want to mention the next website creation workshop is coming soon. You want to go to websitecreationclass.com to get on the list for this class that's coming up. And then, and Joanna, if you could put this in the chat as well, I'm going to be doing a master class all focused on WordPress. websitecreationclass.com/webinars. If you're already in my program, you don't need to go there because you're already in my program. But if you've never taken the website creation workshop and you want to learn more details about WordPress and how you can create a beautiful website in WordPress, even if you hate technology, you'll want to go ahead and sign up for that. All right. And here is the tips PDF, websitecreationworkshop.com/tips PDF. We'll also be emailing this out to you, and that is a one-page tip sheet. And Here's my last slide. Okay, I am ready to go to questions.
Okay, so coming over to questions. Actually, before we get to questions, Leah just wrote in and said, for anyone at the beginning of their website journey, you honestly couldn't be in better hands than with Christina and her team. Pure gold, really. So thanks, Leah.
Thank you, Leah.
Okay. So V had mentioned if a browser stops working, like she mentioned Firefox had stopped working, what would you suggest doing in a situation like that?
Okay, so this morning my Firefox wasn't working. I was trying to log into something and it just wasn't working. So that's why I went to Chrome and I logged into Chrome. The other thing you could do is close your browser, reboot your computer. Maybe the browser needs to be updated. So I would close and get out and get back in.
Okay, sounds great. And Barbara was wondering, with different browsers and things, are there any conflicts with updates or anything like that that you should be concerned with?
Conflicts with browser updates?
I believe that is the question.
No.
Yes.
I mean, I just let the browser do its thing. I've had Firefox do some weird things, like it updates and then it gives me an old version of my bookmarks, and I just haven't gotten around to troubleshooting why that is. So I have had that happen where Firefox will update and all of a sudden my bookmarks are different, a different version. So
Okay.
I don't worry about it. I just let the browser do what the browser's going to do because that's what the browser's going to do. It's just going to do what it's
Right.
going to do. That's different from updating your WordPress website. It's a different
Yes.
thing.
Yes. So Gloria says, why would you use or be present on more than one search engine?
Why would you use more than one search engine? Because if you don't like the answers Google gives you, Google throws a political slant into the answers it gives you. And if you're like, I don't know if I like those answers, or I'm not sure I'm getting all the answers I should be getting, then sometimes I go to another browser. So same with Bing.
Did you mean browser or search
I
engine
meant
or
search
both?
engine, thank you.
Okay.
So Bing is another way to search. That's Microsoft's version of Google, and you can search on Bing. So sometimes you get different answers.
Okay. And someone else said when your browser updates, sometimes it takes away your pinned tabs as well. So that's something to be aware
Yeah,
of.
but pinning tabs are, you just go right click and you pin it, and right click and I'll pin it, and then you can just unpin it. Unpin. So, and tabs you can, I forgot to show this, you can click and drag and move them around. So if you're doing a certain task and you're like, okay, I'll search in Bing and I'll search in DuckDuckGo, and you can click and drag and move them around.
Okay. And I know, I don't remember who it was, but somebody mentioned when you were doing the demo, it was going a little bit fast. So when
Oh,
you're flipping
okay.
through tabs, um, you could go a little bit slower. It'd
Well,
be
what
helpful.
happens, so yeah, sorry everyone. What happens is I get so efficient, I start moving really fast. And then I
Yes.
forget that people are watching me and they need me to go slow. Um,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
if you are not, let's go to website creationclass.com, webinars. So if you never took the website creation workshop, you're going to want to come to one of these. And it's not next week, but it's the week after next. Okay.
Okay. Bonnie was asking if using an incognito is kind of like being logged in as a guest in Microsoft Edge.
I think so. Let me bring up.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm guessing that's what they mean. I don't use Microsoft Edge very often, so no, they're calling it new in private window. But
Okay, so maybe
maybe
being logged
it's,
in as a guest is
yeah,
something else.
yes, maybe
Okay.
it's a guest. You know, when,
Now, Ananda's,
well, go ahead.
go ahead. Ananda says, when I try to do, I think this is an incognito on Chrome, I get interference by Edge that I don't like. And she was wondering what she could do to avoid that.
When she's on Chrome, she brings up an incognito. And so what is, oh, interesting, it remembers my bookmarks. And so what's the issue? How is how is Edge,
Yeah, she's
Microsoft Edge affecting her?
right. She just said she gets interference by Edge and she doesn't like it.
I have no idea. I have
Okay.
no idea. I
Okay.
maybe just close the browser. I don't know why Edge
Okay.
would have anything to do with Chrome.
Okay. And while you're in an incognito window, can you have multiple tabs in incognito?
Yes, you can have multiple tabs. So Control
Okay.
T, all those same tab commands will work. You know, and I could go to my website incognito. Right now it's asking me about my cookies, so I have to accept that.
And Barbara was asking out of curiosity, would you be able to like log into your site in incognito and
Yes,
then
you can.
have one tab logged in and one tab not logged in
Yeah, you
or
can do that.
in incognito?
Yeah, but it's
Okay.
just not going to remember you. That's why it's when you're working, it's more efficient to have it remember you, like it's remembering me that I was editing this site. So it's more convenient to have it remember you. But you can do incognito. Here's the incognito, and it shows you that it's incognito.
Okay. Ananda typed in some more information and I think it might be that her default browser on her computer might be Edge because she
Oh,
said she started using Chrome to browse and then Edge keeps like opening
right.
Edge
Edge
instead
wants,
of
yeah,
Chrome.
Edge tricks you. Let me bring up Edge again. I close this. It it asked me just for place your favorites here. It asked me, did I want it to be my default browser? So just say no. And there's probably a way to make Chrome your default browser. I have mine set to Firefox. I don't remember how to make it be the default browser. And I'm not even talking about extensions on today's call. That would be like another call, but browsers can have extensions.
Okay. So Ananda, just make sure that Chrome is your default browser and
Yeah.
that probably will fix that. Okay, so next we have Sandy. Sandy was asking if there's a way to set the settings on your browser to remember everything.
Well, I have my Chrome set that when I close Chrome and I open it again, it doesn't remember my tabs. But I have Firefox set that when I close Firefox and open it, it'll remember all my tabs. And I don't recall where you set that. It's probably in settings somewhere.
Right. Settings, I believe is where that is. There are various different options in there.
Oh, I want to
Okay.
comment on Penny Southam, who she just typed in this really great testimonial. If you could read that, and then let's.
Sure.
And
Yes.
Penny, can we show off the site you're building? Penny, I would
Well,
love.
Penny's typing that in.
Okay.
Penny said, I knew very little about WordPress before listening to the WordPress masterclass at the end of September. This was just last September 2023. Then I joined Christina's website creation course, which is phenomenal and very easy to follow along. I've created a very professional website that I am now ready to launch. I no longer need to hire web designers because I can do everything myself. Christina, Joanna, and her team are rock stars. Thanks, Penny.
Thank you, Penny. And I don't know what her test site is. I'd love to show that off. It's pretty amazing.
It's,
But
goodness, I'm trying to remember what it is.
Why don't we answer another question? I'll answer Dorinda while Penny is finding that. So Penny, you should have that as a bookmark.
I think it's like Lightray or, yeah, Lightray, wpfun1.com/Lightray.
Okay, so wpfun1.com/Lightray. So this is the website that Penny is building in the website creation workshop, and here's a picture of her. Yeah, so it's pretty amazing. You can find under stories we have all these different case studies, coaches, business coaches, authors, health and wellness, artists, healers, consultants, spiritual professionals, Feldenkrais practitioners, and here's all these different ones. And we'll be adding Penny's site once she gets it live. This is her test site. Remember that I have my own test site that I'm building, so she's building this in a test area, and it's getting ready to go live really soon. All right, let's get back to questions. And again, if you haven't signed up, if you are not in my class and you haven't signed up for my masterclass training on creating a WordPress website and everything, all the details about my course, you're definitely going to want to sign up. All right, let's see. I think we have the schedule to go to the bottom of the hour. Is that right?
I think we had 60 to 75 minutes.
Oh, okay.
We do have a lot of questions to get through. Do you want to?
I'm game to keep going.
Keep going. Okay. Okay, so Leah says, so with pin tabs, they stay up day to day if you turn your computer off. So if you close your browser and then open it up, the pin tabs will still be there. Is that correct?
I'm not sure. Try it. It depends if you have the settings so that it remembers your tabs.
Okay. Pin tabs do that for me, but again, yeah, check your settings. But if I pin it, it opens them back up. Okay. And then Kai said, if someone is using DuckDuckGo, does that change how a WordPress site appears?
DuckDuckGo is a search tool, right? So it's like instead of using Google, so I type in essential oils, and you're probably going to get different results than if you typed it into Google. So it's a search engine.
Okay. And Penny says to let you know that her site is bookmarked, as is the course.
Oh, good.
So she's using bookmarks.
Yeah. So I've got to, I'm going to close. I'm going to delete a couple of bookmarks. So yeah, I have my course bookmarked up here. So I can quickly get into the website creation workshop training.
Okay, we're seeing the essential oils screen. Is that what you wanted us to be looking at?
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
okay. I wasn't sure if your screen was paused.
Yes, so here's my different tabs.
Okay.
I'll close LinkedIn. So here's my different tabs.
Okay. Now Lawrence says, since DuckDuckGo is a search engine, do you have to submit your website there to get it to show up in the search results, or does that happen
I think that's going to happen automatically. I don't think you have to. That's a good question.
Okay.
I don't know where DuckDuckGo finds websites, but if Google's found it, then DuckDuckGo will probably find it.
Okay.
Dorinda,
Um,
let me answer Dorinda's question. Do you have a
yes.
favorite calendar? I use Google Calendar. So I've started using Google Calendar and Gmail a long, long time ago, and I use Google Maps also. They're just really excellent tools that make my life better. I don't like that Google is tracking me. And I do have a bookmark for it, but I don't want to go there because it's going to show all my personal stuff. So I'm not going to go to my. So that's what I use. But if you're on a Mac, many people are using the Apple Calendar that's built in.
Okay. And Johanna mentioned her brother-in-law is a programmer when it comes to password managers, and he suggested MacPass, which is what she uses on her Mac. So I guess it's a,
MacPass?
yes, I guess it's a Mac thing, MacPass.
My MacPass. So I'm not sure which one is,
Okay.
but yeah, keep
So
compatible
Leah
core.
says she started using a password manager since you recommended it, and it has been a lifesaver for her. And she was wondering if you have any quick ways to copy a paper version.
I don't.
Um,
That would be a good idea.
okay.
I don't.
Okay.
But you can look in and see if it will save a paper version, but that's kind of a good idea is to have a printout. But I have hundreds of passwords because every
Mm.
time you go somewhere, somebody wants a new login. But it's a real time saver.
Jeffrey is wanting to move away from LastPass as well and was wondering if you have any tips on migrating to like from LastPass to a new password tool.
Um, I would just Google migrating from LastPass to Bitwarden. I would just ask, um, and I usually skip the sponsored ones. Import data from LastPass to Bitwarden. So there's a way you can do it without copying and pasting every single password. So I haven't done it, so I don't know, but I would Google it. So I would
Okay.
first pick, which password manager you want to use. Where's my list? Decide which one you want to use and then see if they have instructions for importing it.
And Judy just put in a comment that she teaches master's IT students and she highly recommends
She's
Dashlane,
Dashlane.
which is what she
Okay.
uses.
Yeah, these are all pretty good.
Okay. We had a couple people, Kathy and Sherry, that were asking like how your passwords are protected if you use a password management system. Is it like there a risk of them getting hacked and
Yeah,
their
there's
passwords are
always a
stolen?
risk. With anything, there's always a risk. So it's stored online. So you get an account and it's stored online, and there could be a data breach, and that's what happened with LastPass. There was a data breach. And the problem with LastPass is the way they handled the problem was not good. Not that there was a problem, it's just the way they handled it. People didn't think that it was very professional the way they handled it. I talked to a tech about it and I said, all right, is my data really at risk? And he said, well, there was a breach, but everything was still encoded, so you're probably fine. He's like, if you were a big celebrity that maybe somebody wants to go after you or a politician, maybe you'd be more worried about it. But, anytime you store anything online, there's always a risk that somebody could find it. But the topic today was about being productive, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I forego certain things because I want to be more productive. And Judy is recommending changing passwords regularly. Yeah, that's a good idea. And then
Right.
and then you update your password manager.
And Leah mentioned, some passwords she doesn't store in the password manager, like her bank information, etc.
Right.
So that's
That's
something to
that's a
think
good
about as well.
idea. Like the most important ones, you want to just memorize. How do you delete bookmarks quickly? All right, I'll drag a bookmark down. So let's say I want to bookmark DuckDuckGo. I'm going to drag it down, and now DuckDuckGo is here. If I want to delete it, I right click and go delete bookmark. Now, if you're on a Mac, I'm not sure how you would delete a bookmark since they don't have a right click. So Mac probably, so then you would just, how do I delete a bookmark on Safari on my Mac?
Judy said it's the same process, and Janet said you could use the bookmark manager.
Okay. Yeah, so there's always different ways to do it. I've been teaching these productivity tips, but there's a whole bunch of things that I don't know. So don't feel like you have to know everything. Is like you use the things that will help you, and then others maybe you don't. Like I don't do pinning tabs all that much, but it is nice because then you can find it. So
Mm-hmm.
if you pin it, it puts it to the left edge.
So Jacqueline says, when you use a password manager, do you have to manually enter every password for every site to start with? Could you briefly explain the process to start with one if you are using Mac Keychain on iPhone now?
Let me just think of where I could go that I'm not logged in. That wouldn't be, um, so. So if I go to Southwest Airlines, right, I have a login for Southwest. The very first time you log in, the password manager will remember it. So it might just take some time, but you go to log in, and if it doesn't know that password, as you log in, it will say, would you like to remember this?
And also, Jacqueline, you could Google if there's a way to export your passwords from Mac Keychain and import them into whatever system that you want to
Right.
use. Could
Oh,
see if that's an option.
and I did forget, some Mac mouses do have right click. That's right. I used to use a Mac. Larry is
Okay.
mentioning some password managers will change the passwords automatically at a preset interval. I would find that maddening, but maybe if it works for you.
Okay. So next question. Sharon said, I keep losing my browsing history. How do I set up my computer so that my history is available for a lengthy time? And she said the presentation was great.
Oh, okay, good. History, you'll have to look in here. This is not something I do all the time. I'll often clear my recent history. Um, so you'll just have to look either in Firefox or Chrome or Safari. Just search around.
Okay. Look in your browser
Yeah.
settings.
Again, like you don't have to know everything 100%. Like I know enough about browsers to make me efficient, but there's a whole bunch that I don't know.
So Lauren says, I can't find how to get the bookmarks menu to load. I just have a list of all the bookmarks I've created. So is it different between creating a bookmark and then adding a bookmark to your bookmarks bar? Is that two different things?
Well, adding a bookmark, right, is dragging something down to the toolbar, but you have to make sure your toolbar is showing.
Okay.
So you have to come in, and I don't know which she uses. Bookmarks, show bookmarks toolbar. Let's bring up Chrome. Oh, and someone was asking. I've got different logins for Chrome, so you can have different settings. Um, so let's say bookmarks, bookmarks and list, show bookmarks bar, show all bookmarks, bookmark manager. So you want to make sure your bookmarks bar is turned on.
Lauren says she's using Firefox.
Hide bookmark. Oh, okay. Right. I think I just showed that.
Okay.
So click on the three dot. This is how it is on my computer, the three dots, and then go to bookmarks. So usually when I teach a class, I hide my bookmarks because it's kind of cluttered.
Okay, so Judy says, I heard that you can now prevent ChatGPT from accessing your website. Do you have any comments on that?
I did not know that. So if you don't want ChatGPT to return, yeah, I didn't know that. So
Okay. She says it's new.
prevent ChatGPT from scanning your website. In order for these companies not to scrape your site, okay, there might be an easier way. Robots. Okay, I don't want to get into a robots file. That's a file you add to your website, but it will keep. Now, some people might want ChatGPT to crawl your site, but some people might not want that.
Okay, and Leah says if your site's password protected, she's assuming ChatGPT wouldn't be able to access it.
Yeah, like
I would agree, but I don't know.
Favorite. My favorite plugins.com has the under construction plugin set up. Oh wait, let me log out. And so, yeah, I don't think they can access it. I don't know for sure, but if you've got your site with a under construction, I don't think they can access it.
Okay. Now, Barbara says, I did notice that individual sites have their own version of like AI.
Yeah.
So I've been wondering, I can just get ChatGPT without having a certain one that can only be used in a particular theme on a website.
Okay, I don't say the question again.
Yeah, as I'm reading that, I'm not sure what the question is either. So she said, I did notice that individual sites have their own version. So have been wondering, I can just get ChatGPT without having a certain one that can only be used in a particular theme on a website.
Still not clear
I'm
on
not
the
sure.
question. I think what she's
Yeah,
saying
Barbara,
is,
let us know.
let me see if I'm still logged into canva.com. Like, I pay for the pro version of canva.com, and canva.com has built in a bunch of AI tools. So since I'm already paying, so I did this for one of my students. I used this AI tool. This was her image. It was small, and I used AI to like expand upon it. So you might be already paying for some kind of tool that already has AI built in, so you don't need to buy another one. That's why I said, be careful with, you don't spend a lot of money. So if Canva, which is something I teach in the website in the graphics creation workshop, I don't need to buy it. So I think that's what she was asking.
Okay, great. Johanna was asking how much is the website creation workshop and how long is it? How can they find out more information?
Yeah, so I would come to websitecreationclass.com/webinars. We'll put this in the chat. We'll also email out about this. And I'm going to go over all the details of the program. And all of these will be the same. It's just the questions will be different.
Okay. Next question. Jean-Paul is using LastPass, and he said for one particular website, for some reason it doesn't work, and he has to manually insert his password, and was wondering if you had any thoughts on what could
Yeah,
be the reason?
I don't know why, but when I try to use iCloud with LastPass, it doesn't seem to work well. So I don't know
Mm,
why.
it was kind of like a
Yeah,
glitch.
I have no idea. Maybe the website is blocking password managers. I'm not really sure.
Mm, okay. Jean says, do you teach Divi in your WordPress class?
Yes, I do teach Divi.
Okay, perfect.
And I'm starting to build. So if you come to my site and you type in Divi, #Divi, #Divi, I'm starting to build a list of people who've used the Divi theme in my training. So if you want a quick get there.
Okay. Now Janet says, I have always used category folders for my bookmarks, which works pretty well in Safari, but she finds it inefficient on Chrome, and she finds the toolbar to be somewhat overwhelming, and was wondering if you had any thoughts?
I've never done that, so I can't comment.
Okay,
But I've never done
maybe.
the categories, bookmarks. Yeah, I don't manage bookmarks. I don't get into it. So, like it looks like you can have tags too. So I don't go that far.
Okay. Um, Leah said ChatGPT recommended using it in an incognito window, but not sure why. I was wondering if you had any
Yeah, I
ideas.
don't know.
No. Okay.
Turn my bookmarks back on.
Okay. And I think we had a couple people asking if you have a favorite on the password management. I know you recommended those three. Do you have a favorite?
I I would say if for the password managers, Bitwarden, because their free version is supposed to be really good. But Judy here loves Dashlane, so it might just be a personal preference. And these links are going to be in your cheat sheet that we'll send out when we send out the replay as well. So I would guess Bitwarden, but it's up to you. Leah's also mentioning NordPass. There's many others. I just picked three.
Mm, yes. Okay. Okay. And I think Bitwarden and Dashlane both have a free version, but I'm not positive on that, Penny. So you could try them out or
Yeah.
watch some videos on YouTube and see what you think looks easy. Um, and then Penny says, do they fill in the password when you open the browser? Is that something that automatically
You
happens?
have to be logged in or have the browser extension, and then it fills it in for you.
Okay. Okay. Sandy was asking about logins and passwords, but I think we covered that. So
Okay.
I think that's good.
And so why don't we just take
Isabel,
a couple of more
okay.
questions because I want to encourage people to come to this next webinar. But
Okay. I think we're almost through
yeah, and I had
questions pertaining
answered
to today.
Isabel's question about different bookmarks for Chrome.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got that. Okay.
So
Sorry, reading the
when you
chat.
open up Chrome, it asks who's using it, and I have different logins, so you can add a new person. So you can have different people using it. Or you can just use guest mode. I think somebody else had asked about guest mode.
Yes,
Yeah.
in Edge.
Yeah. Well,
So,
this is in
yeah.
Chrome, but it's probably
Okay.
similar.
Okay. So Barbara had more
Ah,
clarification.
about
So she said,
ChatGPT. Yeah.
oh, no, about Divi and AI.
Okay, she also, I'm going to read what she said about ChatGPT. She says, I think it's worrisome that ChatGPT might be tracking you, so that's probably why it's suggested to be in the incognito section. But I don't know if you can use this without logging in. Let me try. I've never tried this.
Yeah, I don't think you
Now,
can. You have to
yeah.
have an account.
See, so you have to have an account to use ChatGPT, whereas you can use Bard. Can you use Bard? No, you might have to be logged in as well. Let's see if it will. I don't know why it sent me here. Bard. Didn't I type that in? Bard.com. Oh, that's bizarre. Okay. Okay, so Bard. Ah, google.bard.com. Okay, so this I think you also have to be logged in to use it. Yeah, so Google won't let you use Bard without being logged in. ChatGPT. But maybe once you log in with ChatGPT, maybe then it's not saving stuff? Probably. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I mean, feel free, everyone, to not use AI if you're not comfortable with it. Just don't use it. Look, we've all been managing without it. There's some things that it'll do well. Like a friend of mine who's keto had ChatGPT come up with recipes and a shopping list. All right, I know we are over time. Boy, we still got a lot
Yes.
of people here.
Yes, we do. I've been so focused on the chat. We do. Do you want to take like two more questions maybe and then wrap up?
Yeah, and for those of you who are my students, you know, we do calls like once or twice a week. So if you've got more questions about this, so this is the classroom area for people in the website creation workshop. You know, bring some of these questions about browsers to one of our class sessions. And for those of you who are not in the website creation workshop, sign up for one of these. For one of these free calls, we'll be talking about the course and using WordPress and how the program can help you that I've been running for 16 years. So Barbara, she had a question about Divi and AI and a plugin, so that would be better to bring to the class.
Okay. I think that's the questions about that pertain to the presentation today. I know we had a few that were pertaining to something else, but
Okay.
I think that's it. I know a lot of people said it was a great, great webinar. Thank you.
I know there's many people who are here who've this is the first webinar you've been to, or you've never been through any of my paid programs. Welcome. I know there's a lot of my students here because I wanted to invite everybody to learn all these productivity tips. We will be mailing out the replay to everybody, so don't worry if you've missed something or you want to review it again. And for those of you who never took the website creation workshop, you'll want to come to one of my free webinars. It's not next week, but the week after, and I'll be talking just all about WordPress. So some of you have a WordPress site. So if you don't have a website yet and you want to have one created, come to my free masterclass at websitecreationclass.com/webinars. We will email that out. And I can't wait to see you on the next training. And if you have any feedback, definitely send it to me. Anything else, Joanna, before we end here?
We just had a lot of thank yous. Happy New Year. Leah said she thinks your calls are so good because it's like a conversation and you ad lib and change things on the fly and have a sincere desire to help people.
Yeah,
So,
that is true, and that's why I like live interactive calls. So, and if you had a question that didn't get answered, come to the next, if you're in my class, definitely come to one of our class sessions. And if you're interested in learning more about WordPress, sign up for one of these. They'll all be the same. It's just the Q&A will be a little bit different. All right, so that is it for me. And thank you to Joanna and to everybody else on my team. And I will see you all next time. Bye-bye, everybody.